has confirmed to us that the world does not see us as equal. Maybe it's the color of our skins. Maybe it is because we are on the wrong side of a political equation. Even our kingship in Christ did not shield us. So they say, if it takes killing 100 Palestinians to get a single Hamas militant, then so be it. We are not humans in their eyes. But in God's eyes, no one can tell us that. The hypocrisy and racism of the Western world is transparent and appalling. They always take the word of Palestinians with suspicion and qualification. No, we're not treated equally. Yet on the other side, despite a clear track record of misinformation, lies, their words are almost always deemed infallible. To our European friends, I never ever want to hear you lecture us on human rights or international law again. And I mean this. We are not white, I guess. It does not apply to us according to your own logic. In this war, the many Christians in the Western world made sure the empire has the theology needed. It is that self-defense, we were told. And I continue to ask, how is the killing of 9,000 children self-defense? How is the displacement of 1.9 million Palestinians self-defense? In the shadow of the empire, they turned the colonizer into the victim and the colonized into the aggressor. Have we forgotten that the state they talked to, that state was built on the ruins of the towns and villages of those very same Gazans? Have they forgot that? We justify, rationalize, and theologize the bombing of children. Jesus is under the rubble. This message is our message to the world today, and it is simply this. This genocide must stop now. We, the Palestinians, will recover. We will rise. We will stand up again from the midst of destruction, as we have always done as Palestinians. But for those who are complicit, I feel sorry for you. Will you ever recover from this? Your charity and your words of shock after the genocide won't make a difference. And let me say it, we will not accept your apology after the genocide. What has been done has been done. I want you to look at the mirror and ask, where was I when Gaza was going through a genocide?
So I hope they don't arrest him. Right, so I think this guy, he went viral, this priest, not this guy. Much respect, salute to the priest, for the Palestinian priest, right, who told the truth. And more than likely, he'll probably get arrested soon and disappeared into a Israeli gulag, a Zionist gulag. You know, they'll be like, we had to raid his house. He was harboring Hamas terrorists. And then they'll arrest him and haul his ass off to a gulag for re-education, right? But what he said was true. You can't move forward after this. Hopefully people understand that. There is no, this is the point of no return. Right? There is no like you can't apologize, hug everything and walk everything off. You know what I mean? Like I'm at that point in my life, and so I understand the concept, right? Like it's people that done shit to me, even in my own family. It's like, yo, we done. You know what I mean? Like we can't walk it off. We can't hug it out, shake. We ain't gonna shake on it and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think we done came to the point, right, where, as it said in the Bible, your sins have reached heaven. You see, their sins have reached the Most High God in heaven, right? and you can't keep walking it off, right? You can't. How many times can you hug and shake on genocide? I'm just saying, like, how many times? How many times can you hug and shake on some colonial, racist, genocidal bullshit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because then they pull that shit like Nikki Haley did when they asked her. They said, well, America, what was the Civil War about? And she didn't want to say slavery because she didn't want to offend white people that she's pandering to get elected, right? You can't keep walking it off and then ignoring it and then, screaming reverse racism, critical race theory, and let's just put the past in the past. You see? So we reached a point of no return. Like the Bible said, and I may bring that up, if their days don't be shortened, then no flesh could be saved. Let's take a look at that. Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Who is the elect? Is the question. See, it didn't say for everybody. They said Jesus saves. It's not for you. It's not for everybody. Like this pastor, he got some things wrong. This priest, he said some things right. He said some things wrong too. And because it ain't for everybody. See, salvation not for everybody. Salvation ain't for the slave master and the slave. Salvation is not for the bloodlines of the Judeans that's being bombed into the dust and blood in Gaza and being ran over with bulldozers and sniped in churches, right? Old women sniped in churches, and these schools of disabled children blown to bits in the name of self-defense, right? So Jesus can't save the people doing that and can't save the children at the same time. It wouldn't make sense. They don't need saving. The children that's getting blown to bits in the streets and in the disabled schools and in the churches are the ones that need to be saved. You fools. Right? I mean, that's common. It should be common sense. So you can't just keep walking shit off. You see? Jesus, I mean, I don't like using this term, but I'll play along. Jesus ain't going to be like, well, we just walk this off. Yeah, never mind about the 50,000 people you just murdered. Right? The racist, Nazi attack on humanity and the 50,000 people you just killed, particularly from my bloodline of the Judeans, you see. And as you destroy the third oldest church in Christianity, as you begin to dismantle the whole Christian faith and cancel Christmas, right? And do blood sacrifices and bomb, of children and bomb and blow people apart on Christmas Day while the Americans and the Europeans celebrate this bastardized form of Christianity, this satanic form of Nazi Christianity, fascist Nazi Christianity, right? We can't walk this off. And so he's right. You see? He's right. Everybody can't get saved this go round. You can't walk this off, right? We can't hug this. We can't hug and then shake and shake after this, right? How many genocides? How much of this fuckery and genocide, right? And this racist double standard can the world take? You see, not too much. Matthew 24 and 22 is right. Their days must be shortened, because this is a prophecy. Matthew for the fools out there who don't read, don't understand, right? Matthew 24 and 22 is the words and a prophecy of what they call Jesus, the man that they mistakenly called Jesus Christ. Where he gave, this was an end time prophecy of the time that you live in right now. You see? And when he said, if there was no, he said, if those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You see? That's the end time, shorten the days. That's what that means. It's talking about the reign, right? The Fourth Reich. Reich means reign of the rich. Fourth Reich, the Third Reich, right? So the Reich, the reign of the rich in German, right? So the end of the Fourth Reich, the end of the reign of the rich, of the Nazi fascists that run the planet, their days are going to be shortened. You see, as of now, see, these are the omens, right? For the people that can't recognize the sign of the times, that's also in this end times prophecy. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that. Right, I got a minute. Let's take a look at that. Matthew 16 and 3. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the sign of the times. My God, right? My God, right? Because what do you got right now? You have the weatherman, right? You turn on you look on your phone, right? You look on your phone, you looking for the weather report. You turn on the TV, you looking for the weather report, right? You say the weather will be foul, it's gonna rain today. You look, right? And so you have learned, the hypocrites have learned to, in the morning, to learn that the weather will be foul. They've learned to discern the times in the sky and what's gonna happen with the weather, but you cannot discern the sign of the times, right? He said, you don't know the sign of the times. You don't know that you've reached the point of no return. You don't know that. You never know to see. That's how you wind up getting your head blown off in the streets and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know when you cross the line and shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. You can't discern when things are going bad or you in a bad situation. You're like, oh, that's gunshots or something, right? You don't know what's going on. Like, what's that going on with that guy over there, right? See, I grew up on the streets. You had to kind of be able to peep game, as they say. Fuck's up with this dude standing around? He got his hand in his pocket. Anybody know him? Nah, I ain't seen him before. Right? Somebody get that thing, right? So you don't discern the sign of the times. You don't know what time it is. You see? You can't see that it's at a point of no return, that there is no going back. So the priest was right. When you can't see, right, when they doing a blood sacrifice to their God, the Antichrist, Satan, the devil, you can't see that. When they take one of your holy days and turn it into a blood sacrifice and kill 100 people, cancel your holy days in your holy land, that go to show you ain't got no holy land. You see? This place is cursed. You don't have a holy land. The false Christian, the American Christian, the European Christian, the Latin American Christian, wherever the fuck they at, right? You've been overrun and overtaken by the Antichrist and his army and his forces on earth. You see? The earth, as the Bible said, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, right? He covers the faces of the judges thereof, right? He's covered up your religion. He's covered everything. Shut it down, right? And so the priest is right. You can't walk this one off. You can't hug it out. You know what I mean? And people, sometimes people gotta let you know. You know what I mean? Like I guess they taught that Martin Luther King shit. That Martin Luther King shit is over with. It's over with. You see, the priest was right. This is a point of no return, right? You cannot walk this off. You're not gonna be able to apologize. You see, but it's beyond that. It's just period. Not just because of Gaza, but just period. It's been past the point of no return. I mean, they killed 77 million Indians in America, right? And they said, well, walk that off. They told the Indian, you tree niggers, walk that off, right? We're gonna take all your land, all your resources, and we're gonna kill 77 million of you, right? So-called red people, right? They always got a color for everybody, classification. So we're gonna kill 77 million of you red people, right? Next up is the Negro, right? So-called, what's just the story, right? So we're gonna run with it. The blacks, right? We're gonna bring in 100 million of y'all, right? But only a couple million gonna survive the trip. But in the process, we're gonna kill 100 million of you niggers. Because we don't have no regard for y'all subhumans, right? These Nazis, right? A total Nazi operation from the beginning, right? A fascist, Nazi, racist operation from the very beginning. All the way back to the Romans, who pierced Christ with the spears and took over North Africa. These are the same people. These are their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren, right? I shouldn't have to tell you that if you ever read a fucking history book. Even basic history, even whitewashed basic history, this shouldn't be a news flash, right? So you kill 77 million Indians, walk that off, kill 100 million niggas and build a slave colony to build this shitty ass country, and then you say, well, you gotta walk that off too, right? Destroy Africa, destroy Latin America, destroy North America, right? Destroy the Philippines, destroy, fill in the blanks, right? Mark these people for mistreatment because they don't look like me. They got melanin in their skin and they look different. So we got to we can mark them for mistreatment so that we can profit. Straight up Nazis, right? And so, satanic Nazis. And so, they said, well, walk that shit off, nigga. Yeah, I know, we still control 90% of your shit, but we giving you some crumbs. Walk that shit off. What are you talking about, reparations? Walk it off, nigga. Right? Get over it. Bill Maher. People like Bill Maher, he come on TV and said, y'all need to get over it. The Gazans, we're going to take your land. He said, just like the niggers in America, just like the Indian in America, get over it. The nigga, Bill Maher is a piece of fucking shit. Bill Maher is a piece of shit. Right? Let me calm down. Bill Maher is a piece of shit. He set up on his TV show and said, just like the nigga, basically the nigga in America and the Indian in America, get over it and walk it off in Gaza. Stop fighting back. The nerve and the caucasity of this nasty ass white man to sit there on fucking HBO and say some trashy shit like that while they massacring, 10,000 children and stealing their land and their oil and their gas. That's some shit only white people could say. A white man like Bill Maher, you see? That's why you can't keep walking it off. Because that's why the Bible says, see? Their days have to be shortened. Bill Maher's days have to be shortened, you see? and accept that those days be shortened. Bill Maher would say that they're gonna say that to everybody until there's nothing left. Right? Fucking leeches suck the blood out of you. You know, goddamn leech Nazis until there's nothing left. Right? And, you know, nobody admonished him for saying that. Nobody thought that was horrible what he said. That was, you know why? Because that's their mentality. That's the mentality of wicked people. You see? That's that Nazi colonial mentality where they say, look, we killed 77 million Indians, 100 million blacks. You niggas, look, the niggas walked it off. Look at the niggas. They transsexuals in America, right? Dwayne Wade transsexualized, you know, turned his son into a girl. The niggas in America, they weirdos in America. They turn everybody into weirdos and gangsters and homo thugs. They walked it off. Look at them. They doing great. They ain't fighting nobody. They ain't upset, right? They integrated. They got diversity. They at the bottom, but they cool, right? They got gonorrhea flavored lipstick. They got rappers like Drake with fingernail polish on, right? A bunch of studio gangsters, studio gangster immigrants, 21 Savage, running around making records about shit they ain't never done or they don't know nothing about, glamorizing a bunch of degenerate behavior, right? A bunch of feminism and whoredoms everywhere, turning your daughters into whores on social media instead of queens, right? Instead of doctors and people that's taking nurses to take care of their community, right? Upstanding, becoming upstanding women in their community and role models for other women and great homemakers and great mothers, right? Like my mother, right? My mother, my crazy ass mother. She tell me about, you know, she a Christian and all this shit, and they tell me some shit about being an independent woman. The Lord never told you to be an independent woman, right? Because all you did all she did as an independent woman was create havoc amongst her children. The Lord never told you, the world was never designed for you to be an independent woman. Satan told you to be an independent woman. The result is what dysfunctional children and a dysfunctional, you know, family. But I digress, right? But so, you know, Jim Crow, 100 years of Jim Crow. They say, well, like Bill Maher said, walk that shit off, right? Walk it off, like the niggers in America, and the Indian in America, and the Indians in South America, right? In Latin America. They walking it off. They down there, they passing laws to be transsexuals, and they in poverty, impoverished by these people oppressing them economically in Venezuela and sanctions in Cuba. They walking it off. What's your problem? What is these Arabs' problem? Why won't they cut it out? They keep making trouble, right? The problem with Bill Maher is he's out of touch with reality, and he's about to get a reality check. Right? Because his days are going to be short. And I ain't want to make this too long, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Right? I'm going to get it out my chest. Fuck with your boy. Right? But like he said in Matthew, right? You got any last words? Yeah, Christ told him in the end, before these Romans came into North Africa and put this so-called black man called Jesus Christ to death, right? He told him, in the end, your days are going to be shortened. Right? Because if we don't, then ain't no flesh going to be saved. You're going to destroy the whole planet. These maniacs would destroy all life on the planet, starting with the people, so-called people of color. Right? He was telling you their end goal, right? Their end solution, like what they're doing to them Arabs. Right? wiping them the fuck out, you see, and taking everything from them worth value. That's what he was telling you. No flesh would be saved from them if the armies were not sent back to earth, right? Did not come to earth and stop them. And their paymaster, which is the Antichrist, right? These UFOs, these spaceships, that's the part they're not telling you. You see? It's all connected to the Antichrist, to Satan, the devil, the head honcho, you see? It's real simple. The hierarchy, the pyramids, right? I don't want to make this too long, but connect the dots. So he said no flesh could be saved if they weren't stopped, and this time frame wasn't short. If their reign on earth, if the Israelis don't stop and they control the American government, between them and all these nukes they got, right? If somebody flex on them strong enough, they're gonna all go, you know, the people that do got nukes that ain't with them, they're gonna start popping nukes, they're gonna destroy the whole planet. So that's what Matthew, the prophecy of Matthew, the prophecy of the Christ was about, right? So-called man you call Jesus Christ. The prophecy was to tell you that there was gonna be a return of someone in his bloodline with an army from space that was going to put a stop to them before they destroyed the whole planet and killed all the people of the original bloodlines of the planet. Because they're not from the original bloodlines of the planet. That's what the story of the Bible is about, fools. Whether you like it, you can deny it. Like Thanos said, run from it, destiny arrives all the same, right? You can deny it, you can run from it, but destiny will arrive all the same. Right? And their day is going to be shortened, or no flesh could be saved from them. Who can say, if you say, well, this is bullshit, okay, motherfucker, all right, I'll play. If this is bullshit, who gonna save the Gazans? Who gonna save the Arabs in North Africa from the Israelis? Who? Who? Joe Biden? Well, he's the U.S. Congress, the EU, everybody that you see right now is on board and working with them to commit genocide in Palestine. There's nobody here to stop them. The poorest country in the world, the Houthis, stood up while all the Arabs stood down. That makes sense? The poorest among you, right? That's why the Bible said, I will make the first last and the last first. The poorest among you. The Houthi stood up and said, no fucking more. It's time to fight. You see? You gotta stop killing them people, right? We seen enough. You see? Nobody else stood up. That's why the prophecy is true when he said, if their days aren't shortened, no flesh could be saved. No one in Gaza will be saved. No Arab, they'll wipe them all out. These are the Nazis, you see. They'll wipe them all out. And when they finish with them, oh yeah, that will be just the beginning. This is not, that's just the beginning. You see? If they can get away with this, they're just getting started. So we had to understand, like, the result, right? If their days aren't shortened, they'll wipe out the Gazans, they'll wipe out everything. That's the end game, you see? But luckily, see, I have faith. You see, I have faith not in stupid shit like in fantasies. Like, I understand the truth. You see, they said the gospel. I understand the truth of the gospel, meaning I understand the truth of the prophecies. You see, and if anybody listened to me, they would kill me. But no one listens to me. If they did, they would kill me. I would have an accident, or so-called get robbed and get shot, or something like that, or whatever. Right? He had a gun. But nobody would listen. But that's the truth of the prophecies, you see. The days are going to be shortened soon. The days they're already being shortened. The plan is already in place. The end was written in the beginning. That's what Matthew is about. It's about their end. Where Christ said in the end they're going to have to be stopped. And then they killed him. The Romans killed him, you see. Who are the Romans? Well, that's the European Union. That's the Romans are the Americans. The Romans, see, killing who are the Palestinians? The Palestinians are the descendants of Jesus Christ, stupid. Some of them. They've been there for 2,500 years. The third oldest church in the world. The beginnings of Christianity is in Bethlehem, right? So you gotta, connect the dots. It's very simple. He's not gonna let them exterminate the people from his bloodline. The ones left in Palestine and the ones around the world. But that's their plan, and no flesh could be saved unless their days are shortened on the earth. They have to be stopped, you see. So you can't, Christ is not going to say, well, listen, we're just going to walk this off. You see? Like the priest said, we're at the point of no return. You can't walk this one off. We can't walk past this. It's been too many genocides, right? In the Congo, where King Leopold killed what was it? Millions? And they walked it off. South Africa, they walked it off. Latin America, they walked it off. You see, so we had the sins have reached heaven. We can't walk past no more. So so the priest was right. We have to understand the sign of the times, right? So I'm gonna wrap on that. Understand the signs of the times, Matthew 16:3. This is a pivot point or a point of no return. You see, you're not. The priest is right. We can't walk past. We can't walk past this and just say, well, listen, critical race theory. We're not going to like Nikki Haley. We're not going to talk about what happened in the Civil War and Jim Crow. We're not going to be able to wash it. Y'all been washing it off and making niggas walk it off for the past, few hundred years now. See, now is the bill is coming due. And this is a sign of the times, right? It has to be dealt with. And there's no one on the earth that has the ability to do that. They don't have the power to go up against them. So it's quite obvious what's going to happen, right? You know, right? You can figure it out. If the EU can't stop them, if the American government is in bed with them and can't stop them, Revelations 2:9, right? If they're all run by the synagogue of Satan, then what comes next? Right? The nigger in America can't stop them. They're walking it off. The Indian, they done. They walked it off on the reservations. Everybody walking it off. Everybody hugging it out. Kumbaya, you see? Looking the other way. Understand? Then it's quite obvious what's going to happen. They're going to continue and they're going to become more and more vicious with their onslaught. Right now, from, pivot point now forward. And that's everywhere. And the Lord of hosts, is not going to walk it off. He's going to say no more. I'm going to step in. Because if I don't step in, right, they're going to destroy the whole planet. So, anyway, that's all I got.